Rather than large, welcome back to Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. We are talking Ajax and Arsenal reaching a verbal agreement to sign Juilain Timber, £38 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Arsenal are now working on structure of the deal, and a second bid will be submitted. It is a done deal. Arsenal and Ajax are on the same page to sign Juilain Timber. According to Fabrizio Romano, it was right from the start. Juilain Timber wanted Arsenal only, no Bayern Munich, no Manchester United, no any other teams. He only wanted to sign for Arsenal. Arsenal fans, what do you think about Juilain Timber signing for your club? Is he the one that replaces Benjamin White? Is he the one that brings that defensive solidarity with Alexander Zinchenko inverting into midfield? How are we feeling? It's 1 week, 2 deals are almost done. Kai Havertz's medicals, of course, those have been confirmed for this weekend, and we have also now confirmed that Arsenal and Ajax are on the verge of getting this one out of the way. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this one to 500, and let's dive into the story as reported by Pletigo from Sky Sports. Now, it says that according to the information he has, Juilain Timber is on the verge to join Arsenal. Bayern is not involved at this stage. The player wants to join Arsenal only. Verbal agreement is already done, and says all depends now on the second official bid from Arsenal. Agreement expected between 40 million euros to 55 million euros, transfer fee plus bonus payments. This would be a very good deal for all parties, as per German football, Sky Sports Germany. This has also been retaliated by Punk Drunk Arsenal. I mean, it's an account that I really follow a lot. They've actually retweeted what Pletigo has said, but they've also said here that we have heard that the deal will be done for £38 million plus 5 in add-ons. Arteta wants him to be the right-sided Alexander Zinchenko. He can also operate at centre-back, right-back, and central defensive midfield. Juilain Timber is on his way to England. Juilain Timber is on his way to become another Arsenal signing of the summer, and also Timber is going to be a Ghana. We're going to be diving into much of the discussion about where he will play. Of course, I've already told you that he's much better than Benjamin White. But now that the deal is on the verge, is he actually much better than what we have? Does he improve us? Does he make us a much better side? Does he make us a stronger side defensively, but then also going forward? Now, I've always thought that Arsenal had, that desire to go for a right back. Juilain Timber is a very special kind of player. It's a very special profile that we've decided to go for. There's so many right backs on the market. Joao Cancelo is one of them, one of the most established fullbacks in the world. You have the profile of Timothy Castagne, and I think Castagne is such a very interesting one because with Leicester City relegated, you would think Arsenal could have paid far less. We could have paid 3 times less than what we're going to pay for Juilain Timber, because we're talking 45 million. Timothy Castagne, I think, according to Fabrizio Romano, if I remember right, Leicester are asking for something between 10 to 15 million euros. So if maybe Juve, if any other team signs Timothy Castagne for around 10 million euros, Arsenal will have paid, times 4 for Juilain Timber. But the profile of the player is why Mikel Arteta has decided to go big. The profile of the player is why Mikel Arteta has decided to go and spend the cash on Juilain Timber. Now, just to run you through the update, what it means that Arsenal and Ajax, of course, we know they've been locked in talks for quite some time after our initial bid was rejected. We've been trying to throw punches at each other in the negotiation process, trying to find a consensus, a middle ground, a resolution, and finally we have a solution. So I think Arsenal initially wanted to pay around £40 million. Ajax felt like that was a little bit small according to what how they value the player, but then they decided that in the end, how about 38 million guaranteed and 5 in add-ons? So the deal is gonna be 38 guaranteed, 5 in add-ons, and I think the add-ons will be a little bit realistic this time because I think Timber is worth that money. Like, he's absolutely worth 45 million. There is no question about that. I don't think Arsenal have anything to be afraid of. If we can go for Romeo Lavia at around 40-45, I think Julian Timber is not a risk at all. So there is a verbal agreement between Arsenal and the player side, and now we have reached a verbal agreement between us and Ajax, right? We are also talking Arsenal's second bid is now very, very crucial. Now, this is very, very similar. If you remember the Kai Havertz story, Arsenal this week went in with a second bid for Kai Havertz. I think our bid was 55 million plus 5 in add-ins. Chelsea did not reject that bid, but they told Arsenal, listen, 60 million is good, but how about we spread the add-ons so that they can stretch up to 65 and you get your player. We want to sell, you want the player, we don't want to stand in your way. Why don't we do the deal once and for all? And I don't remember any kind of friction being reported between Arsenal and Chelsea for Kai Havertz. Deal done. It will be paid through 3 years. I think the Julian Timber deal is very similar, if not even easier than that. And I've said it before that you look at this one, and there is no reason Timber does not join Arsenal. The only reason for Timber not to join Arsenal is if someone has hijacked the deal. But apart from that, Ajax want to sell, the player wants to move. Mikel Arteta has communicated to the hierarchy that this is the priority. This is my top transfer target for defense. For 40 million. If you've gone back to the UEFA Champions League, if you're trying to win the Premier League and you cannot complete your transfer priority for 40 million, I'm sorry, you do not have the guts. You do not have what it takes to be a top side. And Arsenal have just proven that, at least as per that level, we above that. We might struggle with 100 million signings. We might struggle with 200 million signings if Arsenal will ever do one in their life. But with 40 million, with 35 million, with 50 million, we are good to go. We are still very, very good to go. Now, so what is remaining is Arsenal to structure that deal. I think it's one where we could see Arsenal trying to pay 45 million within maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years. Of course, Arsenal always Arsenal. I expect that bid to go in, and it will have such a structure. I think it will be negotiated around, but I don't think it will be rejected. Ajax know if you've received 30 million and you're going to receive 38 million, right, in the next bid, you don't reject it. All you have to do is to sit down, outline the processes, outline what you want, and then the deal will be done. So is Julian Timber ready for the Premier League? Is Julian Timber a player that improves Arsenal? Is Julian Timber a player that Arsenal needed? Now, last campaign, we've seen Arsenal try to play a back three. A 3-2-5 system in possession. And I really explained this when I was doing the Kai Havertz video. Make sure you watch it, right? Why Kai Havertz is such a good signing. I think the video is how Kai Havertz will fit in Arsenal. And we said that because Alexander Zinchenko plays full-time midfielder at Arsenal, you always have to play a back three with Benjamin White at right back, William Saliba at the heart of the three, and Gabriel Magalhaes at left back, right? As the left centre back. So your back line spreads out as a three, and then Alexander Zinchenko forms that double pivot with Thomas Partey pushing the likes of Xhaka in front and the likes of Martin Odegaard in front as well. And I think this is where Timber is such a very, very good signing. It's where Timber thrives a lot. One, we've seen him play in this kind of back three system for the Netherlands because Denzel Dumfries is such a very it's such a very high fullback. He plays in high positions, especially as a fullback. He's actually a wing back, right? So Denzel Dumfries does not play the traditional two. So if the opposition winger is in possession, they don't necessarily have to be defended by Denzel Dumfries for the Netherlands. They are always defended by Julian Timber. Right? So they always face off Julian Timber, and he's such a solid centre back. So for this system, He is a master class of a signing. He is a master of what we've brought him to. He's a master of what the job is. The job description fits the profile of a player like Juilain Timber. So I think he massively improves Arsenal because number one, I think we have had a problem on the break. Whenever teams have been, locked in, whenever we lock in teams and suppress them, and then they break out, that right hand side has been a problem. Remember the first game against Manchester City? That is where the first game came from, Tomiyasu. But then also, I want you to try to remember that game where we beat Aston Villa 4-2. The Felipe Coutinho goal. That should not happen. That should not be allowed to happen because when you go to the biggest premium competition in the Champions League, you're going to play the best attackers, right? You're going to play the best, orchestrators of moves. Imagine Pedri, Dembele, and Rafinha, right? You cannot risk having a weak side either on the left or on the right. That is my opinion. So Julian Timber then comes in. That is where Julian Timber comes in. Strong, solid, very good on the ball. And I think this is a factor that Mikel Arteta really looks at before signing a player. How good are you on the ball? Zinchenko, master on the ball. Saliba, of course, he's not an Arteta signing, but before being reintegrated into the squad, he needed to have that comfort on the ball. Same with Timber. Same with Ben White, by the way. I do give him a lot of stick, Ben, but I've got to say that he's not your Cafu, right? Benjamin White. He's not your Theo Hernandez. He's not your... he's not these comfortable fullbacks on the ball, but he's a little bit comfortable. To be honest, I don't think he quakes. Yes, he loses position a lot of the time, and it is frustrating. And at times I get frustrated when I'm doing my video, my reactions. But I think it's fairly comfortable. Then you think about Partey, Odegaard, Havertz. All those players are very comfortable on the ball in wide areas, tight spaces, and in the middle of the park. So Timber for me is such an upgrade on Ben White, right? I don't think Ben will leave. It's the same thing with John Stones. Pep signed John Stones, I think, was it 2016 or 17? And then, between that period and now, how many players in defense have signed for Manchester City? Ruben Diaz is there. Aymeric Laporte has signed. Nathan Ake from Bournemouth as well has signed. So, but John Stones has never gone anywhere. John Stones has always been there consistently, right, in that squad. I think that Ben White could be that. Now, I'm sorry, I did suggest that he has to leave. I think I was just excited with the Julian Timber signing. I think Ben has to stay. Ben will stay at Arsenal. I don't see him go anywhere. He's going to be that extra guy at right back, extra guy at centre back, extra guy in because you can rotate Ben White with Gabriel. Yes, he's not left-footed, but I think he can play there. Or you can push Saliba down, further down, and then White and Saliba can play at centre back together. I think, it is very, very highly possible. He's a ball-playing centre-back, and he's a player that Mikel Arteta really loves and trusts a lot. Very, very much. But Timber, for me, is just different levels. Timber is just a breath of life. When you're trying to build your squad, you see the way, the way Newcastle are building their squad. They added Trippier first, then they added Bruno Guimaraes, and then they added Dan Burn. And then they added Chris Wood. And since then, they've kept on upgrading on each and every position. Isak on Chris Wood, that is a massive upgrade. That's a massive upgrade. They've now brought in Sandro Tonali alongside Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know if Joelinton is as good as we think he was. And I don't know if Joelinton is going to be as a consistent performer, but with Tonali, Linton, and Guimaraes, they have something there. They really, really do. And then they're now trying to sign Kieran Tierney to upgrade on Matty Cash. They're also trying to bring in Teo Hernandez. Again, could be an upgrade at left back. Then they signed Nick Pope in goal, right? An upgrade on Dubravka. So I think that is what Arsenal are also trying to do here. Timber is an upgrade on all the players we have. There's no question about that. Rice is an upgrade on all the central defensive midfielders we have. Honestly, Kai Havertz is an upgrade on Granit Xhaka. There's no question there, right? There is no question there. Jesus, an upgrade on Edin Ketia. So I think he upgrades this Arsenal side. I think he makes us better. I think, look, we will do the videos about how, he inverts into midfield and everything. I don't think essentially he's going to be inverting in midfield. I think essentially he comes in because he's so comfortable and he might be the highest player on the average positions board in terms of defenders for Arsenal, as Alexander Zinchenko consolidates his role as midfielder. Arsenal have agreed a verbal agreement. I've reached a verbal agreement with Ajax. £43 million is what is going to be paid for the services of Juilain Timber. Arsenal are doing some good deals. Arsenal are making some moves. Are we Premier League preparing? Are we preparing for the Premier League? Has Mikel Arteta just thought, I might win it? Because if he has thought that, it's clearly what he's trying to do. But I'll see you right in the next one.